All right, guys, this is a newer Mr. Nightmare video. It says 3 horrifying true Facebook Marketplace horror stories. All right, I've never seen Facebook Marketplace horror stories by Mr. Nightmare. This should be interesting. There's been plenty of like Craigslist horror stories where you meet up to buy something from someone on Craigslist, but Facebook Marketplace is kind of like the same thing. People post stuff on Facebook and sell it, and then you meet up with them. So this should be an interesting video. Some true Facebook Marketplace horror stories by Mr. Nightmare. Let's check it out, guys.
When I moved out of my parents' house and into my own apartment, I had a lot of junk and stuff that I needed to get rid of. I never liked Craigslist because I always found it sketchy, especially after hearing so many stories about it. So I listed a lot of my things on Facebook Marketplace. Things that wouldn't fit in my apartment and that my dad wanted out of the house.
I mean, what better way to get rid of crap you don't want than eBay or Facebook Marketplace?
My weight set, some old childhood toys, book sets, and a whole bunch of other things. The weight set was what I listed for the most money. It had a barbell, a plate tree stand, and a bunch of plates. I was selling it for $340, which I thought wasn't a bad deal.
Seems kind of high.
I wasn't getting many bites. I'd have some people here and there message asking if it's still available.
Oh yeah, Chris.
And then never message me again about it. Until a few days after posting it, a guy named Joe messaged me showing interest. His profile picture was pretty grainy, but it was a guy with a fishing hat on holding up a fish. His account info was private. I couldn't see how many friends he had or anything, only that we had 3 mutuals. All 3 of them were girls from my town. The guy's last name was also the last name of a Joe I knew from my town who used to date a girl I was somewhat friendly with. So I right away assumed it was him, especially since I knew that guy liked to fish. After telling him it's still available, he said, "Great, when can I pick it up?"
Yeah, guys, if you ever meet up with someone to sell something or you're buying something, the best place to meet up is like a Walmart parking lot. It's very public. There's cameras. There's people there. If someone's like, "Hey, come to my house." No, I'm sorry. Even if it's like a good deal on something you're trying to buy, or maybe you're trying to sell something, if someone says, "Oh, here's my address, come to my house." No. Always meet in a public place.
I was pleasantly surprised he didn't try to haggle the price down at all. I said I'm available any night after 7. He said he could come by tonight around 11 p.m. after work. I said that's fine. A little late in my opinion, but if that's what worked for his schedule, it worked for me. I then decided to just be a little friendly and say, "Hey, you used to date Gina, right?" I saw the typing indicator in the chat for a second, but then it went away and he didn't reply.
That's
Not for
weird.
a couple minutes. Then he said yes. I thought it was a little strange, the random pause.
Oh, I never thought of meeting. Oh, that's a good idea too. If you're meeting someone to buy or sell something, meet them at the local police station. That's a good idea too. Never thought about that.
But it could have been anything. Maybe he thought it was weird I brought it up. So I just said, "I knew I recognized your name, LOL." He read the message but didn't respond for half an hour. Then I got a message back from him saying, "Yeah, LOL. Can you send me your address and I'll let you know when I'm coming?"
No. Oh, crap. This situation's hard, though, because he has a bunch of weights. He has like a weight set he's trying to sell. Weights are very heavy. So you might almost have to have the person come to your house, because if it's something very heavy, like a weight set, are you going to want to put 300-400 pounds of weights in your car? That might not be good for the car to have that many weights in your vehicle. I don't know.
So I sent him my address. He read it and didn't respond for many hours. By the time I got home from work, it was around 6. I went to the gym and got back around 7:30. The whole time waiting for some kind of acknowledgement from Joe.
Yeah, red flag.
He finally messaged back asking for my number. I gave it to him, and seconds later, I got a text from a number with our area code. I have an iPhone, and when I texted him back, it was
well, yeah, Bobby, if you have a F-150, or if you have a truck, if you have a heavy-duty truck, yeah, you can put quite a bit of weight in the truck bed and meet somebody, but what if you have a little car or a van? Not everyone has a Ford F-150, not everyone has a truck.
Green. I sometimes will find that to be a red flag and possibly scams, because most people I know have iPhones. But I wasn't thinking that way with this, because I knew this guy already. He said he'd be over in a few hours.
Well,
so I continued about my business.
You think you know the guy.
It was now around 11 o'clock, and I was waiting patiently for his text or call. I sent a follow-up saying, "Let me know when you're coming." It was around 11:30 that he texted me, "I'm here, come out." I looked out the front window of my apartment, and I saw a dark-colored car out front in the street. I tried calling him so I could tell him that I need help bringing the weights outside. He rejected my call, and then he texted again, "Yo, come out." I texted back, "I see you. You can come in. I just need help."
Yo, come out? Well, I'd be like, yeah, come help me move the weights. You think I'm going to carry all the weights outside by myself? You're buying them, buddy. Come help me.
Help with the weights. There's a lot of them. He texted back, "Nah, gotta see if you're straight first."
What?
I had to process what the hell that even
see
meant
if
for
you're
a second.
Straight? What's that mean?
All I knew was this did not seem like the way this white-as-hell fishing dude would be texting. I tried calling one more time, and he denied the call again. Now I was suspicious. I decided to text that girl Gina, along with the mutual friends I had with Joe on Facebook. The first one to text back was this girl Angela, who said, "OMG, that's a catfish. Someone's pretending to be him."
Oh my gosh, it's a freaking catfish. I knew something was fishy. See what I did there? Yes.
I asked why she added it. She said it must have been a different name when it added her. I looked out the window again, and the car was still there. Someone was about to do something bad to me. I wasn't sure what, or who, or why. I had no way to contact the real Joe because he didn't seem to have any actual social media profiles. Not public, at least. I kept the door shut and locked and didn't respond any further. I turned off the light in the living room and kinked the blind just a bit, and I swear on my life, there was a guy hiding behind one of the bushes in front of the house.
Oh, hell no.
Honked its horn, and then I saw the guy in the bushes run to the car, and then the car sped off. Witnessing that, I didn't feel relief. I felt gut-wrenching fear, not only of what I just narrowly avoided, but the fact that those people now had my address. The Facebook profile was deleted.
That's why you don't give out where you live. Don't give out your address, because, yeah, now those people know where you live. They can watch your schedule when you go to work. People, scout out houses, they, for a week or two, they learn when people are home, when people are at school, when the husband and wife go to work. Then people try to break into the house when they know nobody's home. It's what a lot of thieves do.
Deleted the next day, after a bunch of people reported it, though I think the people who made the account deleted it or deactivated it themselves. Joe himself confirmed he had nothing to do with any of that, and that someone must have been using his pictures and name to try and scam people in the area.
Damn!
I'm not so sure it was someone trying to scam random people.
I think he was trying to
days later,
rob
I
the
got
house.
this threatening text. "Hey yo bitch, watch your back. We know where you live. Keep trying to talk to my girl, see what happens, man. We'll fuck you up right outside your crib. Sleep with one eye open, pussy, we watching."
What
I brought
the
this to
hell?
the police, but it was such a low priority report to them that I doubt they ever even looked into it.
Well,
I have no reason to lie when
I think bro has anger issues.
say I haven't tried talking to anyone's girl in the slightest. At the time of this incident, I had been seeing a girl pretty much exclusively. I think it's connected. I don't know who it is. I don't know what they were going to do to me if I opened the door. But unfortunately, I've had to live in slight fear in my new apartment ever since moving here. Fortunately, I haven't gotten any more threatening or random texts, but I still pretty much always check outside my windows first before leaving the apartment at night.
That's terrible. That's terrible, guys. You should feel safe in your own house or your own apartment. You shouldn't have to feel like you're always looking over your shoulder, making sure someone's not watching you or making sure someone's not following you. You should feel safe in your own house or apartment, not feeling all freaking paranoid. Don't give out your address to people you don't know. And if you're selling something on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, always meet up in a public area. Police station, Walmart, Target parking lot. And don't meet up at nighttime. There's literally zero reason why you have to meet someone when it's dark outside. Like, if the person's like, yo, I can meet you at 10 o'clock at night behind the Walmart, be like, no, let's meet tomorrow. Let's make it like noon, middle of the day. Don't meet someone when it's freaking dark outside.
It had to be 2018. I was selling this old pinball machine that we had from our childhood. It wasn't some crazy arcade level pinball machine that would cost thousands of dollars, but it was definitely worth a few $100.
Nice.
It had been sitting in my parents' attic for the longest time, so I wanted to sell it before one of my sisters had the same idea. I didn't really want anyone to know about this because then I'd have to split the money.
Thanks, Sean.
So I chose to list it when my family was away on a trip that I couldn't go on due to work. I'm a bit of a sneak, I know, but you gotta do what you gotta do. My parents' house is on the really nice side of town, but not in a gated community. I put the pinball machine up on Facebook Marketplace for $200. The next day, I got a message from some account with no profile picture with the name.
It's crazy how many people are out there just looking to take advantage of people. Like, someone probably knew they're just trying to find a nice house. Like, they're not even interested in the pinball machine, most likely. They just want to try to, like, freaking rob your house or something.
Named Jasmine, expressing interest in the pinball machine. They offered $175. I agreed to that number. We set up a time for when she would come, but when that time came, she never showed up. She messaged me saying, I'll be there soon, I'll be there soon. It was getting late now and I had work the next day. I asked her if she would be here by 11 the latest. She said 11:30. I asked if we could do this tomorrow.
Someone on Facebook Marketplace wanted to get rid of games for free. I messaged the user to meet up at my local library. The dude no-showed and mocked me for wanting to get rid of his games for free. Damn, zombie.
Tomorrow instead, but she said she's already on her way. So
really,
I just
Sister
stayed up
Wolf?
a little later waiting. 11:45 rolls around and she finally tells me that she's here. I went to the front door and saw there was a car out front. What I wasn't expecting was to see all 4 doors of the car opening and 4 people stepping out. 1 girl and 3 guys. I messaged her, are you here?
1 girl and 3 guys. I'd be like, what?
Here with people? At this point, she wasn't answering her messages anymore. I watched as the 4 people approached my door. I kept the storm door locked.
Oh, hell no.
These 3 guys looked kind of big, and all 4 of these people looked like trouble. As they got close enough,
Connor?
I said, are you Jasmine? She said
Good luck,
through the
Jake,
door, yeah.
on your driving
I
test.
said I can't let all of you guys in my house. My parents are asleep. Obviously lying. Jasmine, or so she claimed her name was, tried opening the door yelling, what are you talking about? As she saw it was locked, she started knocking on the glass. I decided it was...
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying to sell something. I mean, it's such a hard situation because something like a pinball machine is going to be kind of awkward and kind of a bigger thing you have to move. Her excuse could be, oh, I brought these 3 guys with me to help move the pinball machine. But the second you unlock your door, if you're home alone, 3 guys and a lady against 1 person, you're easily going to be overpowered. And then if they're not even interested in the pinball machine, they're going to take any valuables in your house. They're going to take your wallet, maybe even hurt you. Who knows? I would not unlock the door personally.
It's best to shut the front door at this point. I heard their voices yelling outside for a while and the doorbell ringing. I heard one of the guys, or maybe even multiple of them, yelling obscenities and insults at me through the 2 doors, making me only gladder I didn't let them in. These were not the kinds of people I wanted in my parents' house, especially when I'm...
Yeah, the only way you could open the door is you unlock the door and you're standing there with like a shotgun or a freaking something to defend yourself. Come right in. You go down to the basement or wherever the pinball machine is. I'm going to walk behind you. Be like, you don't try anything, I won't try anything. I just have this shotgun here for my protection. And then that's the only way I'd let him in.
Alone. I realized this whole thing was an awful idea when I heard their voices laughing and yelling on the front stoop for like 10 minutes after I shut the door.
Scarface.
I looked out my little brother's bedroom window upstairs, which is directly above the driveway, and I saw one of the guys pissing in the empty driveway. No cars in the driveway was not a good look. The girl yelled something
What?
directed at me as they finally started to walk away, but I didn't hear what it was.
Exactly, Ryan. Don't give out your address.
Thanked the Lord when they drove away, and I went upstairs to go to sleep. I was having trouble sleeping that night, though, thinking of the interaction. So, fully awake, a couple of hours after climbing into bed, I heard...
Guys, I would have called the police. What would you guys have done? Technically, the people were supposed to show up to get the pinball machine, but I don't think he was expecting to have 3 guys and a woman show up, that many people. I would call the police and just be like, someone was supposed to come to my house from Facebook Marketplace and pick up a pinball machine. There was a guy pissing in my driveway. There was 3 men and a woman. I feel unsafe. Could you have a patrol car or a police officer just drive by my house a couple times in the night? Because technically they didn't try to break in or anything. They didn't like kick the door or nothing, the 3 guys and the lady. But I would still feel a little uneasy.
Heard a crash from downstairs. It was unmistakably the sound of a window being shattered.
Well, never mind. Someone just shattered a window. Oh, God.
I sprang up, but right before sprinting to make sure the bedroom door was locked, I stopped myself and instead quietly got out of bed and tiptoed to the door. I had already locked it. I tiptoed back to my bed and had my phone in hand, ready to...
Put something in front of the door, even if the door's locked, bro. A lot of doors inside the house are not very strong. You have 3 guys and a lady, they could easily break down that door. Push a dresser. Push a piece of furniture or something heavy in front of the door. Call the police immediately.
To call 911. For some stupid reason, I was waiting till I heard any other kind of sounds before dialing.
Oh my God. He heard a window break and he's waiting to call 911. I would call instantly.
Eventually, I heard the sound I needed to hear. Footsteps rapidly coming upstairs. I dialed 911 as I felt like throwing up. The footsteps outside the room didn't even sound like they were trying to be quiet. I whispered the entire time I was on the line with the dispatcher. Time was moving in...
Oh yeah, Scarface. I have 3 kids myself, bro. 2 boys and my daughter Aaliyah. She just turned 2 last month. I'm not going to put my kids in danger. Yeah, someone would be getting clapped.
Verse. I hid literally under my bed as I listened to people ransacking the house. In reality, they were in and out in less than 5 minutes, way before the police actually showed up.
Oh my gosh.
The backyard window was shattered. Things were stolen from just about each room.
Is that the actual
Ironically,
photo?
The pinball machine wasn't taken. What happened from there was I got a police report number. I made an appointment to see a couple detectives at the police station and shared with them all the details I had, including the Facebook account of the Jasmine girl. I fabricated the story a bit, saying someone in the house threatened me. My reasoning for this was I felt that this case would actually be taken seriously if I claimed I was threatened. To my surprise, they did take this seriously. The detectives apparently gathered the necessary data of the Facebook account in question to track this Jasmine girl, who lived a few towns over, in a less than desirable area. And with a search warrant, they searched her house and found multiple belongings stolen from my parents' house. She ratted out the 3 men who accompanied her, and they were all charged with burglary. I think most of the stuff that was stolen was recovered.
They all got caught? Hell yeah! I feel like 90% of these stories, the criminal gets away in the story. They never figure out who it was. The lady ratted out on the 3 guys who was with her. They all 3 got arrested for breaking in and stealing stuff. So they're probably going to jail or prison for at least a couple years.
I'm sure there were some things that I wasn't aware of that were stolen that were never returned, but to this day it hasn't come up, so it's fine. I think by me claiming I was verbally threatened may have definitely helped make the detectives take this more seriously. But
he really didn't fabricate the story. He was technically verbally threatened, because didn't he say one of the guys was outside the door like yelling and cussing at him? So maybe he didn't threaten him like, I'm going to do this to you, or you better open the door. But if he was dropping F-bombs and cussing at him, that would make me feel threatened. If there was someone outside my front door of my house trying to open the door and they were like cussing at me, yelling, I feel like that's grounds for feeling threatened a little bit, you know?
Could be wrong. My family was of course livid at first, but came to be understanding about it
Hey, there's Z-Man. What's up, bro? I wasn't sure if Z-Man was going to stop by tonight.
in the end.
All right, we're on story number 3, guys. Karma will bite you in the ass.
I was searching Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace for a new phone. This was a long time ago, so it had to be like an iPhone 7 or something. Phones still had the home buttons back then. I found this listing for a phone. It was some
Oh my gosh, that brings back memories. I remember when I was like 15 or 13 or 14, I got the very first iPod, guys. It wasn't the iPhone. This was before the iPhone. Do you guys remember the original just iPod? The iPod Touch, where you could there was YouTube on it. You could download apps and play games on it. It had the internet, but it wasn't. This was before the iPhone. It was just an iPod Touch. Gosh, that makes me feel old. I remember when there used to be a physical button, a circle button that you pushed. It was the home button. Now everything's just touch screen, but
generic looking post. iPhone whatever for sale. New, around $300. It was a really, really good deal for the time, that I remember.
I got 2.
He told me all the small details I needed to know. That it was factory unlocked, never opened, and
that
stuff
Kevin
like
Gates?
That. He sent me a video of the box too, still sealed. The guy, whose name was Melvin, seemed nice and easy to talk to over text. I got his number and we discussed a pickup point. His location on the Facebook ad was much closer to me, but over text he was telling me he was only there this morning, and now he went about an hour north.
That's suspicious.
I wasn't happy about this, but this was a really good deal and I didn't want to pass it up. I started asking a bunch of friends if they'd want to come on an adventure with me. Really just a way of making the chore of accompanying me for an hour drive seem fun. My friend Martina actually agreed to come with, on the promise that I buy her food for coming. So this Melvin guy sent me the address of a police precinct about an hour away, saying he only does deals in police precinct parking lots to avoid scams.
Yo, one of you guys mentioned that earlier. Meeting up in a police parking lot? That's very smart. If you're meeting someone to buy or sell something, if cash is involved or a product that has value, just don't do any drug deals in a police parking lot. That's the only thing I would recommend not selling. Probably drugs or firearms. You might not want to. You might want to stay away from selling that kind of stuff. Retro Trooper 97, thank you for the $5 super chat, man. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Just subbed. Love your videos. Let's sell it first super on a live stream. Retro Trooper, thanks for the support, man.
I obviously had no problem with this. In fact, it made me feel a little more confident in this whole thing. I picked up Martina on the way around 8:30 at night, and off we went. She being in the car and having someone to talk to made the trip more fun. It was also a Friday night, so afterwards we could go out and do whatever we wanted. When I got off the highway, we were about 10 minutes away, and we found ourselves in a very secluded, quiet area. It seemed like a lot of different wooded areas. Occasional buildings and houses, and then more woods. We got to the police precinct, and there was no one visibly parked in the parking lot, besides empty police cars, of course. We drove around the whole building a couple times and didn't see this Melvin guy, who said he was in a black Altima. So I decided to call him. He picked up and said he's having issues with his car on the side of the road, and asked if I could come to him. He sent his location and I checked it. He was on the side of some random road with nothing on either side. And by nothing, I mean wood.
Yo, happy birthday, bro. We're the same age. A couple weeks ago, I just turned 30. I'm officially old. The big 30. We're pretty much the same age, just by a couple weeks.
That's the kind of area we were in. He asked me to come help him jump his car. He had jumper cables.
What?
I said, yeah, I guess I could do that.
What's up, Sam?
We drove the hour to get there. I didn't want to just drive another hour for nothing. Martina was shaking her head the whole time I was on the phone. The guy said, see you soon, and hung up. Martina then basically screamed, no way, this is sketchy, we're going home. I told her we'll just drive past the location he sent and see what's up.
Well,
I did agree with her though. This seemed incredibly sketchy. I just was very upset if we drove 2 hours for nothing.
I'd be pissed if I drove 2 hours to meet someone from Facebook Marketplace or like Craigslist. A 2-hour drive? That's kind of a long drive. And then you got to drive 2 hours home. That's 4 hours of driving there and back, and the person didn't show up. I'd be pissed.
did drive to the location, and when we got to it, we saw the reflection of a car's front lights coming up on the pitch black road we found ourselves on.
Oh no, someone's following them.
Down.
Someone's following them.
It was in fact a black car, but we couldn't see anyone inside or outside of it. Mind you, it was very dark, but I feel like we would have seen someone's head on the inside or something. Martina said to just keep driving, and I said I know. It was about the sketchiest thing I'd ever seen.
Gosh.
Pitch black road between two patches.
Guys, I've never been in a situation like this, and I hope I never am in my life. But some people in these stories get themselves in some very strange and bad situations. Man, you just got to be careful. Like I've said, especially when you're meeting up with someone to buy or sell something off Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, you just got to be careful because it's a complete stranger. There's so many scams out there of people trying to rob you, or let's say you're going to buy something, you give someone the money, you get home and the thing they gave you is like, let's say you bought a phone or something. It's like a stolen phone or the phone doesn't work or who knows. There's so many scams out there.
Patches of woods, no streetlights, no other cars in sight. A pretty convenient place to break down and have someone who's coming with a wad of cash to buy something from you come and meet.
Yeah.
I drove right past it. Immediately, Melvin starts calling me over and over. I ignored every single call. Then he texted me saying, I saw you just pass me. Why didn't you stop? Turn around.
Oh, gosh.
Ignored.
Melvin's pissed. What a name, Melvin. I'm sorry. That's just a weird name. I've never met a Melvin in my life.
Martina's a very positive person, so she laughed about this whole situation and then said, okay, you owe me food. So I looked up the nearest diner, and we stopped there for some food. It was a quiet, small diner. We were just about the only people in there, even on...
Don't tell me they stop at a diner and frickin' Melvin shows up at the diner. That'd be creepy. Yo, Retro Trooper, thanks for another super chat, man. Have a wonderful night, buddy. Definitely will be returning next live stream. Retro Trooper 97, have a good night, bro. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it, bro.
On a Friday night. The waitress just took our coffee order.
Guys, I swear if Melvin shows up to the diner...
A lone guy with his hood up steps into the diner and sits in one of the bar stools.
It's freaking Melvin!
He's wearing a navy blue, dirty-looking
hell
hoodie.
No.
He glanced over to Martina and I, then looked straight ahead, talking to the lady working behind the counter.
It's freaking Melvin.
Coffee. The man kept glancing at our table like every minute.
Melvin's a freaking stalker, guys. He followed them to the diner. That's freaking creepy.
So I whispered to Martina, don't look now, but that guy at the counter might be the Melvin guy.
Oh, shit.
The waitress came with our coffees. I asked if
we
were ready to order. I said a few minutes, please. When the lady behind the counter handed that man his coffee, he said loud and clear, thank you, darling. It was that guy from the phone's voice, Melvin or whatever his real name was. I told Martina that's him. We need to pay the check and leave. I waved the server over and whispered to her if we can just get the check. She asked if something's wrong, and I noticed the guy look over as I said this. I said yes, we just needed some coffee for the road. So she got the check, I paid, we downed our coffees, and left the building. We got in my car, and Martina said, oh my god, he's getting up. I looked into the diner.
Oh, if Melvin starts following them, that's going to be freaking weird.
And saw that guy leaving towards the door. As quickly as possible, I drove us out of that parking lot and sped down the road. And yes, we noticed a black car in the parking lot that could have been the one that we saw on the side of the road.
It's freaking Melvin.
I was driving too fast for him to have caught up.
God damn it,
I got
Melvin.
back on the highway and I was flying for a while. Until I got a low tire pressure light come on. I knew instantly he slashed my tire. The PSI was going down fast. So to avoid damage, I pulled to the side of the highway and parked.
I didn't even think of that. When they were inside the diner, Melvin pulled up outside. They didn't notice him. He popped one of their freaking tires. Melvin is determined. You can at least give him that. This man is determined. Oh my gosh, he popped one of their tires. Shit.
Parked it. I went out to confirm that my tire was slashed. I had to replace the tire with the spare, which took about 15 minutes. The whole thing was a disaster, and if you're wondering, yes, I still got Martina dinner that night. Now Martina and I look at it as a crazy story that we can look back on and tell people. It's absolutely horrifying, though, how close we were to walking into a trap.
Okay, well, hold up. What happened? I still feel like there's a little bit of the story missing here at the end. Guys, I love Mr. Nightmare, and I know people just submit stories to him, and he just reads the stories, but if Melvin slashed or popped one of the tires, did they ever see Melvin again? Or did he just change the tire and... Because if it took 15 minutes to change the tire, I feel like that would have been... I feel like that would have given Melvin enough time to catch up with them. 15 minutes? Even if they were driving fast, I feel like in 15 minutes, Melvin could have caught up to them. All right, let's leave a like on this, guys. 3 horrifying true Facebook Marketplace horror stories by Mr. Nightmare.